John Goodman, Rosie O'Donnell, and Rick Moranis star in the movie blockbuster The Flintstones. Sunday at 7, 6 Central on ABC.
22-minute podcast. 22-minute podcast. Don't want to take up much of your time. Just gonna read some headlines. Stuff.
Welcome to the 22-minute podcast. My name is Wes Sievertson. Today is Tuesday, isn't it? May 27th, and I'm here with Mike Finley and James Fass.
Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Hello. There they are. Yeah, it's just an old Tuesday here. Nothing too crazy. I'm thinking about
an old Tuesday.
You know, I forgot to mention in the weekend check, I'm thinking about making spaghetti tonight. I got the stuff upstairs.
Nice.
You know, maybe I might even like take the ground beef I have, and that's not how you're supposed to make. You're supposed to you make spaghetti with ground beef.
My mom always did.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? You're an American.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
It's American spaghetti, dude.
Well, I'm just saying. So is that like you take the ground beef and you could ground beef? There's the H in there, and you make
brown
little
it.
balls. You make little balls.
Oh,
right?
you can do meatballs.
You just cook it.
Just
Obviously,
brown the
You
meat
throw it
in.
in.
I would use
I
ground
know.
pork
Throw in
with
the sauce.
for meatballs, but yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
mixture.
Yeah, like a pork mixture kind of thing.
Yeah, like a 70% pork, 30% beef
See,
mixture.
James has done a lot more cooking than you and I have.
I do like pork beef mixture.
Well, then maybe I'll head to the store. You know.
Pork beef is what they called me in high school.
Yeah, I bet they did. You know what I mean, look at you.
Hey, where that pork beef at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, there he is. I don't think I love. Did I? Obviously, I'll lie and I'll tell you I was called 1,000 things in high school. But did I have a nickname?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, good. I can't remember. I think yours was Diabetes Boy.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that was nobody called me that.
no one
but
called him that. Yeah. But that was his name.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's make sure we get everything in today. Let's get going. So yes, it's May 27th. What happened on this day in history? On this day in 1660.
What?
This is me ripping off another show, but I do want the Napoleon Dynamite's brother drop of like anytime something happens before like 1920. You just hear the drop of like anyone could even know that.
Yeah, that'd
So-
be
Yeah.
apt.
So 1660, the Treaty of Copenhagen, delicious. Am I right, James?
Hey, I love it.
Between Sweden and Denmark, Norway, was signed, concluding a generation of warfare between two powers.
I think just powers. I don't know what the po is.
You know, they did love fighting. They were all about taking. What did they call them? They didn't call them slaves, but they were slaves. But
Indentured servants?
no, there's a Norse, classic Viking term for like, yeah, I don't remember what they called them. It's
Lord of the Rings, the Poe Powers?
pretty much, dude. I mean, honestly, anytime I've read about like actual Norse terminology and stuff, I'm like, oh. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings guy, J.R.R. Tolkien, he's just a big old nerd. A big old history nerd.
Big old nerd.
And he just liked how, different cultures called. He really was an anthropology guy when it comes down to it. And that's how he
Hate
built.
that store.
Dude, it really kind of, because they're owned by Urban Outfitters, it really is kind of insulting to the concept of anthropology to have such a stupid, like, pottery barn for hipsters called,
Can you believe Urban Outfitters is still open?
Kind of no.
That's insane, right?
I don't know who shops there. Like the hipster scene really became so bland that you don't need a store dedicated to it.
Right. Before the hipster era, it was American Eagle and all
Right.
that shit, Urban Outfitters and all that shit. And
Dude.
then it like got phased out, and H&M fucking took over for like 6 years.
That's a great point. Is the fast fashion stuff much cheaper than the Urban Outfitters?
Top Shop or whatever.
I did notice that Urban Outfitters had like sometimes Vans will only sell like a certain shoe at Urban Outfitters or something like that. So I think maybe stuff like that is I don't shop, guys.
I know they also have like sometimes there will be an Urban Outers exclusive vinyl pressing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So not only Vans, just a bunch of different.
I've had the
brands.
same jeans for 6 years.
Honestly, I've been rocking some actual Carhartt pants just because I'd Googled, I did some research. I was like, you know what, my pants aren't lasting long enough. The waist is just in, it's out. What's going on? And I've been wearing these Carhartts. I don't know why I would buy anything else other than for an occasion.
I was
This
thinking
is not
about
an ad.
It's really not, but I could tell these are gonna last.
I was thinking about how for an extended period of time you had like 1, maybe 2 pairs of pants. I thought about it this morning. I don't know why I thought about it.
Yeah, me in my 20s. If you ever want to hear, like, I didn't know I was a crust indie punk. Is that a term? Maybe just don't even put punk on there. Crust indie.
Crust indie.
I had no idea.
Indie.
I'll tell you about it.
Indie.
I'll give you an anecdotal example of how unaware and dirty at the same time I was. Okay, because I remember I took off my pants once, right, and I kind of like held them up. And they just kind of held the shape that they would on my body, you know? And I thought it was so cool. I thought it was interesting, you know? I thought it was so interesting that I told someone about it. I told someone that I worked with about it.
There's strikes 2 and 3 right there.
There's no starch in these pants.
And you know, I didn't think anything about it. I told them about it, whatever. And then like a week later, my manager is like, let me talk to you about something.
Well, someone go ahead and sit you down for a minute.
And he informed me that my pants were like that because they were filthy. And I was 19 years old, and I grew up a little bit that day, you know?
Was this PacSun, you said?
No, it was Vans.
Vans,
It was
okay,
Vans.
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I do wear these pants a lot, but guess what? They get washed once a week. And honestly, I will die on the hill if pants are a once a week wash.
I'm with you.
Well, I'm saying you can wear them 7 times.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay.
I will die on that hill, bro. Listen, I know people who think you don't need to wash your legs. Okay, I'm washing my legs. I'm washing
They
my
wash
pants, but I
Well, here's the thing. Like, what are you doing in the pants
That's what I'm
where
saying.
they're like fucking like, oh, these are.
Well,
I
that's
got
a
in the
great
car.
point.
I went to the grocery store.
That's a great point. Yeah. Listen, I'm wearing. I might change my underwear in the middle of the fucking day. So don't worry about the.
Sometimes I'm a 2 underwear a day.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
If I have
100%.
like one of the prolonged farts, that's just like
Sure, dude.
I'm like,
even if it doesn't
you
feel
gotta
even if it doesn't
Done,
feel
bro.
wet, I got plenty of underwear. I'll go put another pair on.
I can definitely do.
the sound it made was
socks
enough.
Or
You know?
definitely can be a more than
Yes.
one pair a day.
So
for sure.
so that's
I'm
the
not
other
wearing socks unless I have to.
My feet is cold. It's poor circulation. It's the diabetes.
I understand.
My feet
Might get the
sweat
pass.
like a motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, but so
I can't overheat myself.
okay, but if I don't wear, this is gross and this is current. This isn't past Wes who was unaware of
I
himself.
love gross and current.
Well, I am very aware of myself, and so listen. If I don't wear socks, whatever shoe I'm wearing is gonna smell
sure.
so fucking bad, and I avoid that. And my
Just
shoes.
walk around barefoot.
Well,
Out of the house.
Out of the house. Don't take
No.
your shoes with. Don't conform to this fucking
I don't.
bullshit where you gotta
I
wear
want to
shoes.
get this clear. You're telling me to walk around barefoot where? I don't want to walk around the kitchen barefoot.
Are you serious?
So what? I'm like wiping all the fucking bullshit that listen, I don't live alone, and even if I did, I don't sweep every day. So then I'm getting a bunch of bullshit on the bottom of my feet.
Yeah,
My
I guess
shoes are like the safe. That's where my safe.
I
place
get that
is.
for sure.
That's where my
You're wearing Berkeys, baby.
yeah. So they're in.
Yeah.
They're off on whatever. I'm more of just saying the socks prevent my shoes, whatever they are, from getting that. It's a fungus. If your shoes smell that, it's a fungus.
It is.
And so from changing my socks whenever basically I get the opportunity after anything, because my feet sweat like Bobby Boucher. But they don't smell like that because I changed my socks. Anyway, so I changed my socks. I changed my underwear. So the pants, like the orifices and the sweaty parts are getting addressed. So yeah, I'm gonna wear these 7 times before I wash them. And they say you're supposed to do that with denim.
Yeah. It's not good to wash denim so often.
Right.
And if you do it in a cold wash and let them air dry.
Who said that?
Well, dude, Was it Calvin Klein? No, it was some guy. It was some guy who I can't give you the direct name, but it was like a CEO of like Levi or something, who was literally like, "Hey, how often should you wash your jeans?" You wash your jeans? Like, that was kind of his response. You know, like, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just let them rock and roll, and then like kind of air
You
out.
mean the guy that gets a new pair of Levi's every day?
I don't think that's true though. I think that's the point. Is you're really supposed to not buy the $40 pair that they sell you, because those are, one, they're probably not.
It's not really denim.
Yeah, and they're just it's so that's kind of thing. They've convinced us over the last like 2 decades that we're wearing what we thought that we're wearing the same thing we were wearing 20 years ago. Like, you can't buy the same pair of jeans that they sold you 20 years ago, and if you do, it's probably a $150 pair of jeans, and it used to be like $39. That's the truth. Like, you want to talk about inflation, which I know you didn't say you wanted to. But that's honestly, again, this is probably a bit of a conspiracy theory without me. I don't know how you argue against it, though. They're not lying to you about what's in the pants.
What do they call that? Shrinkflation?
It's basically shrinkflation.
Yeah.
It's more of a
quality.
Exactly. It's
higher price.
It's a metaphorical shrinkflation in that sense. They're not selling you less, but they're selling you less quality. So yeah. Anyhow, whatever. Blah blah blah. You know me. I'll rant on you. Okay. What else happened today? Thank you. I forgot where I was and what was happening. On this day in 1703, look, anyone can even know that? The city of St. Petersburg was founded. Yeah. What was it called before? Isn't that a thing?
Dixville.
I don't remember. Or was like St. Petersburg renamed to something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe that was a thing.
Right.
I can't remember.
It's not Constantinople, is it? Anyway. On this day in 1941, the British Navy sunk the German battleship Bismarck. Ooh, what's the like? Is there like a saying with Bismarck? Is there a line from a movie with Bismarck? Why does Bismarck sound familiar?
Well, see, I thought the same thing when I wrote it out. Then all I could think about was the fucking donuts.
What's that?
A Bismarck donut.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm unaware of that. But see, that's
I'm thinking about Bismarcky.
You know what? Settled. Moving on. On this day in music history, on this day in 1963, Bobby D's second studio album, The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, is released, containing the tracks Blowin' in the Wind, Girl from the North Country, and A Hard Rain's A Gonna Fall.
I listened to that for the first time in its entirety this morning.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
You know what's interesting is listening to something like that now being kind post-genre.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about this before. It's like the youth of today,
The youth.
they're not obsessed with like a sound. You know what I mean? Like Chapel Roan doesn't sound like a genre. It's just pop music, you know? And I'm not trying to critique it. I'm just saying they're not listening to pop punk. They're not listening to emo. They're not listening to industrial. You know, it's all kind of one thing. If Chapel Roan wants to have elements of this, that, whatever, she can do that, and like it's not like, oh, she made a choice. Honestly, it's so distinct to the point of Willow Smith going, I'm gonna make a pop punk record. If she just made the record, people would be like, that's a pop punk record. You chose to get the guitar sounding like this, the production like this. It's not a natural thing. So I don't know. Being kind of post genre and listening to something like Bob Dylan or whatever. I mean, Creedence Clearwater Revival was like the #1 streamed band on Spotify last year. And that's not just old people.
Yeah.
That's teenagers being like, whatever, just I listen to fucking whatever.
Right.
I'm sure your daughter listens to literally like whatever. And she's 7. But she's also interested in music.
Well, she'll be 8 by the time y'all are listening to this.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I could definitely I like that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as I enjoyed having an adolescence that belonged to the era of genre, and we had our own little bullying that we did with each other, and you know, I like that band before people ever heard about them, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there was one person.
Guys, listen. If Lad from Park wasn't a bald, short man with glasses, he would be Gerard. What's his last name? from My Chemical Romance?
Butler? No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but he would be Gerard because he's a cooler songwriter, hands down. That's the thing. I tried to go back and listen to any My Chemical Romance other than Helena, which is just a banger of a song.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, I'm like, these lyrics
Gerard
are
Way. That's what it is.
The lyrics are so. I get that he's a comic book writer. I actually think his writing works better with like.
Sure.
Because comic books are just telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. But the lyrics are like, this isn't really poetic, and if it is, it's like trying real fucking hard. And sorry, but Park Ladd. You know, he is a great writer.
Yeah.
It's still emo. You know what I mean?
Let's just say there won't be snow where she's going.
What does that mean? I need to listen to the
Fucking
song.
love that record so much. Jesus Christ.
It's a good emo record. Look it up. All right. Good for Bob. On this day in 1977, the Sex Pistols released their second single, "God Save the Queen," and it quickly was banned on the BBC because they get to do that. Did you know that? Did you know that these like weird MAGA people over in Britain, right? Because that exists. They're like freedom of speech. And they're like, we're not in America. You literally do not have freedom of speech. Like, shut the fuck up. And I think I kind of agree with them.
Yeah.
That's what's sad. That's what's sad, guys. Is I'm getting closer to
Isn't it sad?
Isn't it sad? I'm getting closer to being like, maybe democracy is shit, and maybe I shouldn't let all these rednecks tell me how to live and control my body.
I will not listen
mine.
to Seaver. I don't like them one bit.
Right. You know what I mean? If the majority of the population are crazy, do I really want them controlling legislation just because we think it's all noble that everybody gets a vote? I know. It's like completely treasonous and un-American. I don't know what to tell you. All right. On this day in 2003, I was very annoyed as Rooney's debuted self-titled record hits the shelves, and it was all over Fuse and MTV and
I don't know if I can ever say that I've ever listened to anything, or if I'd be able to pinpoint like, oh, this is fucking Rooney. But I know people who went to high school with, like, this was a big deal for them.
Well, that's like they're Coppolas.
Yeah,
they're related to.
That's right.
It's like Jason Schwartzman's cousin. So really, like in my eyes, Jason Schwartzman was like the member of the family who really kind of blazed the modern trail.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he found his way into acting, but like he also Wes Anderson, and he saw the value in that. He didn't just say, "Cool, I did a Wes Anderson movie. Now can I do Transformers or something?" You know what I mean? Not that that's the right timeline, but and so he did the same thing with music. He's like he did the Phantom Planet thing. And then Coconut Records was really not long after that. And I think
I like Coconut Records.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I think his family saw an opportunity. And so to me, this is just like rich kids in middle school, high school, seeing their cousin doing something, seeing their family being rich and
they
famous.
Have the money and the backing to go in.
Exactly. What do you want to do? You know?
Right.
And that's the point is like, if you were in that situation, you could, I think, and I'm not saying you should act any different, but like, if you want, if music's your career, Scout, whatever, then right now, you don't have any time to waste. You're not a fucking Coppola. And so whenever you're 14, you can't go, hey, I kind of was into music whenever I was a kid and I gave up on it. Now I want to do it again. And then we can just allow you to be privately homeschooled and then dedicate you can be Billie Eilish or whatever. No, you don't have that option. That's a very entitled thing to have. And so that's whatever I kind of imagine for these kids.
Right.
Or Chan. You ever heard of Chan is basically a bunch of rich kids from California whose parents were just like,
you're going to do this.
Yeah, we'll homeschool you and you're going to learn piano and drums. You know what I mean? And God, it sounds like a lot of fun.
The perfect pillow, my dude.
and that's what they laid their head down on every night in their little entitled beds. But listen, it does sound fun, and I wish I could do it, and I would eat all of the shame, and I wouldn't care because it does sound like it's a good time. But it's just not an option that we all get. So again, Scout's not. I'm not saying Scout needs to be Travis Barker or nothing. So she doesn't need to take anything I say seriously at all. She needs to do something in high school.
Why don't you get your own fucking kid, Wes?
She's fucking 8.
Dude,
get your own child, Wes.
You know how recently
you got so many fucking ideas on how to parent.
No, it's true.
Wait, I'm sorry. Am I being immodest for just having a general opinion of like
27
Here it is. Now let's tone it down.
Encouraging.
Am I in the wrong for going on
discipline?
8-minute diatribes about how you should approach your kid when it comes to music.
And now he's framing as though I'm giving some sort of advice.
We could check tape.
Is that really what the point of what I just went through was? Or was I saying that sometimes people are entitled and can focus, let their children focus on other things than like, hey, whenever your mom and your dad were working an hourly job every single day and basically school was your babysitter and that's all they could really afford, were they really worrying about, that's all I'm saying. I don't know why it turns into me giving a parental advice. But if you want to frame it that way, like you said, it is recorded. Let's. What film and TV?
Action.
How does that go again? It's lights, camera. So it's action. On this day in TV and film history, we have a James Bond film released in 1964, From Russia with Love. Are they talking about a bomb? They are, right? I don't know that I've seen this one, but I bet they are. On this day in 1994, The Flintstones, starring John Goodman.
That's when Rosie O'Donnell started wearing underwear with dick holes in them.
Rick Moranis as well.
Oh, wait.
On this day in 2005, Sacha Baron Cohen's biggest role, I like to move it.
Oh, that was him? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Madagascar was released.
That has a parallel release twin with the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, is that when Batman Begins was released?
Batman Begins is like 15 days from this day or some shit.
Well, good. What a summer.
But every year around the same time
right.
that they release.
I see what you're saying. Well, let me blast through some birthdays real quick.
Do it.
Let's see. We got turning 45, Ben Feldman. You'd recognize him from a handful of things, but A to Z with Henry Zabrowski. Turning 26, Lily Rose Depp. Turning 55, Joseph Fiennes. Born on the Day Not Dead, Christopher Lee. Turning 54, Paul Bettany. Turning 52, Jack McBrayer. And we have time for one more.
Born on this day, now dead, Vincent Price.
Oh, happy birthday,